Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Music Done. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a great day. And above all else, that you're indeed looking after yourselves and one another. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be giving you my top 10 rock instrumentals. Now, there's a lot of information to cover here, so to make it easier for you guys to sonically digest and for me to bring it to you, I'm going to be splitting this episode up into two parts. So in part one, I'm going to be giving you tracks 10 through 6, and in part two, I'm going to be giving you tracks 5 through 1. Now, in putting this list together, to me, it's a pretty eclectic list of music that I'm going to be bringing you. And in terms of instrumental music, especially on rock albums, I follow the belief of Ken Cheshire in that, for me, a very well crafted and arranged instrumental piece of music has many uses. It could be used as a introduction to the album that you're about to listen to. It could be also used as a bit of a respite, placed, I guess, well, in the middle of the album, a rest from the songs that came before, and sort of a rest for the songs that are about to come after the instrumental. And it can be also used as a wonderful conclusion to an album that you're listening to. So, yeah, in my opinion, I do feel that a very well crafted and written and arranged instrumental piece of music has many uses and is simply wonderful. Now, coming in at number 10 for part one of my top 10 rock instrumentals, I have the Allman Brothers with their track Jessica, released in December of 1973 as a second single from the group's fourth studio release, Brothers and Sisters, their first single from the album being Rambling Man. The original full-length album version clocks in at 7 minutes, and 28 seconds. The single version clocks in at 4 minutes even. The song itself was written by Dickie Betts, and the song is a tribute to gypsy jazz guitarist Django Reinhardt. The song is also constructed in that it could be played using only two fingers on the left hand. The main song is written in A major, and the main guitar solo is written in D major. Now, the song itself starts off with an acoustic guitar and piano intro before the rest of the band come in. Great melody, great guitar tone on this piece. And what I'm hearing is the main guitar line is also twinned by using keyboards and organ. And to me, by doing that, it adds more thickness and lushness to the uh, main melody line for the piece. There's also a wonderful percussive breakdown on this piece and a wonderful piano solo. Now, I honestly thought that this track was featured on the at the Fillmore East album, but it's not, unfortunately. I think it should be. But this is a wonderful piece of music. And again, although the track itself has a jam feel to it, you can just tell that they're having fun in the studio with this piece. Dickie Betts said that each section of this piece was written meticulously and placed strategically throughout the arrangement of the track. So that's number 10. Coming in at number 9, I have Led Zeppelin with Moby Dick. From Led Zeppelin 2, released in October 1969, the studio version of this track clocks in at 4 minutes and 21 seconds, written by Jimmy Page, John Paul Jones, and John Bonham. The original title for this track was called Pat's Delight, a tribute to John Bonham's wife, Pat. Now, although you hear, Jimmy Page coming in with amazing rhythm, lead guitar on this piece and wonderful bass work by John Paul Jones, this piece was used as a showcase for John Bonham's talent on the drums, heavy-handed on the snare, wonderful use of the floor toms and use of bongos on this piece. Heavy-handed, percussive, over the top, and in fact, this piece played live over the years, took the name Over the Top when it was played live. And this piece would stretch out when it was done live to something like over 12 minutes, 15 minutes, sometimes 20 minutes. This piece was used live for the rest of the band to have a break while John Bonham was on stage doing the solo. The band would go off and, get freshened up or get whatever done off stage. I won't go into that. But the last time Moby Dick was played by Led Zeppelin was on July 17th, 1977 at the Seattle Kingdom. Okay, fantastic. And this piece is listed as being the best rock instrumental ever. I don't know if that's true, but it is a wonderful piece. Coming in at number 8, I have Pink Floyd with Any Color You Like from the Dark Side of the Moon album, side 2. This is track 8 on the album, comes after Us and Them, and just before Brain Damage. As you know, the entire album of Dark Side of the Moon is sequenced as one long piece of music. This features wonderful keyboard work from Richard Wright. And also on the breakdown section, there is a guitar piece done by David Gilmour. And what I like about the guitar piece is that it's done by doing using a panning technique between the left and the right channel, and it's just a wonderful piece of music, very sort of ethereal in some spots in its delivery with the keyboards and with the keyboard section on this piece. And you can also, or I can also sort of visualize sort of a cascading run of colors, from the rainbow, that is happening uh, while the keyboard section comes in. And to me, the Dark Side of the Moon album was, I would say, the last time that the band worked as a cohesive unit. Sorry to say, but that's to me that's how I'm feeling about this track. Wonderfully done, beautifully piece of music, beautifully crafted and arranged. Coming in at number 7, I have The Tea Party with The Badger from their second major label release, The Edges of Twilight, clocking in at 3 minutes and 59 seconds. This is an acoustic guitar driven folk oriented piece. Uh, I've read that it was written by Jeff Martin, but all the tracks on The Edges of Twilight, along with the rest of the catalog from the Tea Party, was are credited to the Tea Party as a collective. To me, this is a beautiful, wonderful piece of music, and it fits in between correspondences and before it, and it comes the track Silence that comes after the Badger. It starts off with what I believe to be the use of the instrument hurdy-gurdy, and to me, it sounds like the dawn of a day starting, just like, the sun's coming out through the trees, and it has a forest kind of a feel to it, a forest atmosphere kind of a feel to it, where you see like animals, like forest animals, starting their day, going through the forest. A wonderful, delicate acoustic guitar piece played by Jeff Martin, just wonderfully done. Whenever I hear this track, it always brings a smile to my face. I love it. I think it's wonderful. And it is simply just majestic in its arrangement and its delivery. That's number 7. Coming in at number 6 and finishing off part 1 of my top 10 rock instrumentals, I have Phil Collins with Hand in Hand from his debut solo release, Face Value, released in 1981, clocking in at 5 minutes and 22 seconds. It ends off side 1 of Face Value, and this song comes in after the previous instrumental Droned, and it starts off with a programmed drum pattern, very percussive. There's also percussive elements that come in with the drum pattern, other percussive elements that come in using the keyboards. And it is a very percussive piece of music. Wonderful, calm piano chord that comes in. You, really prominent use of bass on this track. The vocal phrasing that come in copy the main melody line of the track. Wonderfully done. Great use of horns on this piece. And to me, along with the other songs on part 1 of this list, The Badger and Jessica, Hand in Hand has a very optimistic feel to it. Basically, anything is possible if you believe in it and you believe in yourself. Pretty much, has no, tomorrow is endless in its possibilities. Okay, forgive me for stumbling there. But I think this track is wonderful. It was played live on many of Phil Collins' previous tours over the years. And again, it is just wonderful. The drums that come in are just powerful and rhythmic, and it is just a beautiful piece of music. So that ends off part one of my top 10 rock instrumentals. Please join me for part two for my top 10 rock instrumentals, where I cover tracks 5 through 1 on the list. As I said, this list is quite eclectic, in my very humble opinion. And you know what? I do like albums that have instrumental tracks. Um, uh, placed throughout the albums. Again, they add a different dimension to the piece that you're listening to the album overall. So please put down in the comments below your view or your favorite rock instrumentals, or from any genre. It doesn't have to be rock. I'm focusing on rock and folk oriented type of stuff. But you know what? Anything is allowed on this list. So please put down in the comments below your favorite instrumental pieces, and please click like and subscribe, and do hit the notification bell to keep yourselves on top of any new content I've got coming up. I will be back with my part two of top 10 rock instrumentals. So please look after yourselves and one another, and I'll see you soon on the Music Den. Bye for now.